to welcome everyone back to the You Matter series. My name is Christopher Newsome, he, him, serve as the chair for the NIRSA Championship Series Executive Board. And today I have some wonderful people with me. I get to talk to them often, but you might not. So with that, I will start with the person whose box says NIRSA and allow them to introduce themselves. And then we'll work to Stephanie, Nikki, and Greg with the introduction. So by all means, go ahead.
My name is Nicole Jackson. I am the Director of National Sports Programs at NIRSA, and I've been here for about 8 years.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Calhoun. I'm an Assistant Director for Recreation Facilities at Georgia Southern University. I currently serve as the Vice Chair of the NIRSA Championship Series.
Hi, my name is Nikki Vance. I am the coordinator of intramural sports and youth camps at the University of Oregon, and I currently serve as the second vice chair of the NIRSA Championship Series.
Hello all, my name is Greg Durham. I serve as the Director of Programs and Partnerships at Georgia Tech, and I am an incoming member to the executive team. I don't know what my formal title is yet.
No problem. I got it. Wait for it. So everyone, Stephanie will be the chair next year. You'll have Nikki as your first chair and Greg will serve as the second chair, related to what we do. So Stephanie, chair, Nikki, first vice chair, Greg, second vice chair, and all supported by Nicole and Lauren Carlson, who's not on the call at the moment, but those are our representatives from NIRSA who make sure we stay on task and stay on track with everything and give us those wonderful updates. So with that, my first question will go to Nicole. You said 8 years. Why did you join this? Why did you get involved with this?
I found NIRSA randomly. So I've been full-time with NIRSA for 8 years, or just about 8 years. Came across them, kind of thought NIRSA wasn't a real company at first until I really dove into it and drove by the building. We still had a building, so fell in love with NIRSA very quickly. Started part-time with NIRSA and then have been in sports pretty much for basically about 7.5 years. So definitely happy to learn that campus rec is a career and happy that I can help professionals in that space grow.
Awesome. And if I remember correctly, if you were to try to drive by the building now, there is no building, correct?
Correct. Yes, we did sold the building last February, so February 2024. So we are all fully remote now.
With that, Stephanie, your turn. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in NIRSA.
Yeah, so I went to my first NIRSA event when I was an undergrad student at the University of Georgia. I went to the Georgia Tech Regional Basketball Tournament way back when, and I did terrible. I didn't even get a game on Sunday. I sat in the lobby and cried because I thought I was a fantastic official, and I learned that was not the case. After that humbling experience, I went to another flag football tournament, and I did a very good job. And so I was like, okay, great, my confidence is back. NIRSA's not so bad after all. Went on and volunteered as a graduate student at Indiana at some different tournaments, and then the spiral just kind of kept going from there. Not only with Championship Series, but also within NIRSA in some different ways. Was part of the member network and regional committees and things like that. And so it's really the people that keeps me coming back. I enjoy the different people that I get to meet. Some of my very best friends don't live anywhere close to me because I've met them in NIRSA, and I enjoy getting to see their faces on Zoom and then get to be together a couple times a year. But anyway, the Championship Series, like a lot of us, is what got me started in NIRSA.
Awesome. Thank you. And sorry to hear about that bad experience at Georgia Tech, but that's all right. We won't hold that against Georgia Tech. We'll just say it was Georgia Tech's fault. Nikki, by all means, tell us how you got involved.
So I actually was not involved as an undergrad. I got involved as a graduate student at the University of Central Florida. Started out as a volunteer at the Swamp Bowl at the University of Florida, and then COVID actually hit and got involved from there with esports when we were running esports tournaments and in Florida and on the national level, as well as the brand management work team. And then once we were out of COVID and able to run tournaments again, just continued getting involved with football and basketball tournaments and fell in love with NIRSA and all that we offer.
Greg, with the fancy polo representing Georgia Tech. Come on now, tell us about it.
Yeah, very similar story. I imagine a lot of us have similar stories, honestly. had an opportunity to officiate a regional tournament up at the University of Maryland way back when, and absolutely fell in love with it. One of my mentors, Natasha Harris, said, "You could do this for a living." And I said, "Sign me up," because I didn't know what I was doing in college. From there, went to the University of Wyoming, where I spent a lot of time with the University of Nebraska staff and their regional tournaments. And, just love giving back. I remember very vividly, Nicole and we drove back from Wichita, and I looked at her and said, "I'm done with the series." Like, I was ready for new things. And a year and a half ago, Stephanie approached me about an opportunity to serve on the exec team, and it kind of reinvigorated my passion and my path. And here I am, back to give back to something that gave so much to me. Truly, if it wasn't for the series, I don't get to sit in the roles that I sit in now. And, truly it changed the trajectory of my life. So.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate everyone's comments. And I'll just throw in there real quick just to make Stephanie feel a little bit better and to tag on to what Greg said. First time I officiated a NIRSA event was way back in the day, probably like 2001, 2000, something like that, at the Ohio State University. It was flag football. It was cold. It felt like it snowed one of the days I was there. And I was definitely not a good flag football official, but because we were the host, I was allowed to work. And I did the down box. You know how cold the down box is on it? Boy, just standing still. It was horrible. It was horrible. I'm shocked that I'm still doing this stuff. But with that, now I will ask Nikki a fun random question related to the series. And then everyone else will have the opportunity to answer the question also. In your time of being involved with NIRSA and or the Champ Series, what is one thing that you have enjoyed the most?
I think what I enjoy the most is just getting a chance to meet new people. Like Steph said, some of her best friends are through the series, and she's met them through the series. And I always say that when I go to tournaments, I get to see all my favorite coworkers, even though we don't actually work together. But I've also met a lot of really great friends through the series, and just having the opportunity to see them, connect with them, and continue to meet more people and more students. I also really like some of the people who were students when I first started, and now get to be professionals with at tournaments, and seeing how everybody just continues to grow is a lot of fun.
Appreciate that, because I was nervous how the sentence was going to go. Like, you like some of the people, but I get it. Some of the students became professionals. So good job. Good job. Way to clean that up. Stephanie, what are you looking forward to? Especially considering that you're about to step into the chair role. What is something related to the Champ Series or NIRSA in general that you're looking forward to?
I think I'm really looking forward to this next group of leaders that are stepping in. We're kind of at a pivotal point where a lot of the folks that had previously been involved with the series are starting to step out and get involved in other ways in NIRSA, which we're super excited to see how they lead us there. But the group that's coming in is really excited and really passionate. So getting to see how they're leading their work teams, or how they're taking on and making tournaments function in a new creative way, or how they're teaching officials and using more creative strategies, just trying to see the new energy that's being brought in. And I think that this next year in particular will be a really great way to kick it off and get started with it.
Awesome. Greg, my question for you, and it kind of ties into something you mentioned about Stephanie earlier, kind of lighting that spark. How do you encourage others to get involved in NIRSA, whether it's a Champ Series or hosting events or being officials? Like, what would your words of wisdom be to get them encouraged to get more involved?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it starts with just exposing them to what NIRSA is. And a lot of times that means, hey, come to me to this thing. You're going to referee some basketball. You're going to referee some flag football. Oh, and you're going to meet some new friends. And at the end, oh, by the way, this is NIRSA, right? I don't lead with NIRSA, but I wrap it up with NIRSA. Like, if you want to continue these relationships, join this organization, join this thing, and continue these relationships. Oh, and get better at this craft that you've already demonstrated you care about. I would say to anyone who's thinking about it, try it. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. And if you don't, let us know, because we want to make sure that we're improving also.
Awesome. And Nicole, and this is for everyone on the call, this will be my last formal question. Then I'm gonna ask my random fun question of the day. Hopefully it's fun. If not, you know how it works, don't answer it. All right. So Nicole, you get to speak on behalf of yourself and Lauren. Tell folks a little bit about the things you do, because once again, I know, and folks on the call know how much you do, but there's a lot of people have no clue of all the things you are responsible with related to NIRSA. So if you can give us a little glimpse of all the things you have your hands in and that you're involved in, that'd be awesome.
Very loaded question because it's how short can I keep my answer? But no, so Lauren is the sports coordinator, I'm the sports director, so we definitely work hand in hand. We really touch all sports. So there's a lot of volunteers who will really only be focused on basketball or only focused on football. Lauren and I are in all four of them. So our fall is very much consumed by everything soccer and everything flag football, and our spring is consumed by everything tennis and everything basketball. We are not only on this call with these lovely, amazing human beings, and also are the rest of all of our chairs and vice chairs every month, but we also work a lot with the teams and spectators. It's a lot of emails, it's a lot of questions, it's updating our website, it's getting applications ready to go or to select people for various tournaments or various positions. Lauren is also working a lot on our social media aspect, and so the at NIRSA Champ channel on Instagram has been a lot of her work recently. And so that's been a great ad for us to have just a little bit more engagement within NIRSA as well. So it's a lot of just back and forth with various groups. I work a lot with our host sites for the national tournaments when it comes to like selecting them. I'm also constantly looking for new host sites for any tournament, any sport. Lauren primarily focuses a lot on our communication with our regional hosts, and so she's the primary, making sure they have everything they need, answers questions, promotional materials and whatnot. And so it's kind of all encompassing. We're constantly going and chugging, and we're also looking for what needs to be improved. Like Greg, you mentioned, like what experiences people have, good, positive, challenging, and what can we do to improve those for the coming year as well. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you. That's a lot. And I know you have more that you could talk about because we've had these conversations before. So I'm going to try to ask two random questions. My first random question, and I saw this yesterday when I was driving home. Saw a person on a motorcycle and they had on what looked like a Kevlar vest or some type of protective vest for their chest and their back. However, they were not wearing a helmet and they were not wearing sleeves. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense.
I've had concussions. I need a helmet just to walk, let alone ride a motorcycle.
I was like, it must have made sense to them, but it does not make sense to me.
I'm never gonna yuck someone's yum, but I believe in personal safety, so like probably not.
I'm just confused. How do you have the money for the vest and don't buy a helmet? Like you have, never mind. It's dumb to me. Anyways, I like motorcycles. I would drive one, but I have bad balance, so I will never have a motorcycle. I've crashed many of bicycles. Yeah, leave me alone. Now, with that, my next question, I want to make sure I get this correct. Nicole has not officiated our sports. I believe everyone else on this call has officiated the sports. So my question for everyone, show of hands, have you played a sport? Have you played a sport? Raise your hand if you played a sport. All right, now I get to have my fun. Everyone, starting with Nicole, followed by Greg, followed by Nikki, followed by Stephanie. What sport did you play? Just say the sport.
Volleyball and track and field.
I played baseball at the position of left bench.
Volleyball, basketball, track and field, and I rode crew.
All right. I don't know how much trash talking you do in crew. I would love to hear this. So with that, Nikki, you're gonna tell me how you talk trash in crew. Nicole, go ahead and give me your best trash talking that you did. Same for everyone else. It's the same order. So Nicole, what was the best trash talk you ever did?
It's nothing I ever really said, but the best moment ever in my life in volleyball, I was a middle, so I blocked a lot, right? And so whenever you get someone who's really snooty and you get a good block on them, it's like screaming through the net at them because you're so excited. So I never really said anything, but I definitely did that a few times to people. So that was always a great feeling.
Was it the, or did you flex after the block?
Oh no, I flexed after the block, 100%. Yes.
All right, Greg, where were you talking from the bench What kind of cheers were you annoying people with?
So I didn't talk a lot of trash when I played baseball because I was sitting on the bench and I knew my role. But back when I was officiating AAU basketball, there was a coach who told me I was terrible. That coach hadn't won a game in any tournament I've ever been at. So I said, "Why is your team 0-1 million?" That wasn't a great thing to say wearing the stripes, but if you give it to me, I'm gonna give it back to you.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, I hope you gave him a check on the way out. Go ahead and take this one more thing to add to your losses. Nikki, if you could talk in crew, please tell me. But if not, give us your trash talk.
Do not talk trash in crew. You can barely breathe. We were about to get hit once by a boat that was not very well steered, and our coxswain, who's the person in front of the boat, said, prepare for impact very loudly on his microphone. So he kind of talked a little bit of trash. But I was not much of a trash talker in volleyball and basketball, but I did have a great stare down. I would just like, as a middle in volleyball, would stare at people across the net, and I would do the same thing in basketball. So I just had a look.
For folks that don't understand, when you meet Nicole and Nikki in real life, they're not short. They have decent height on them, and they will stare you down and scare you. All right, Stephanie, finish us off. What we got?
I can't think of a playing example either, but similar to Greg, I was officiating once and a coach was complaining about somebody hanging out in the lane too long, asking for a 3-second call. And I turned and said, let's be real, coach, this isn't why y'all are down by 20. And he didn't like that, and neither did my assigner.
Oh, was this, I mean, the assigner was in the stands or the coach called the assigner?
Oh, the coach called the assigner. Yeah.
But you're still working today, so it doesn't matter. That's how great you are. See, that's awesome. When you're really good, it doesn't matter. You can get away with those things. With that, I want to say
To the
thank you to all of you.
real quick, to the aspiring officials, please do not replicate behaviors that Stephanie and I talked about. It will not get you very far. I don't want to promote that. Kris, I love you. I just want to have to put that qualifier out there. Be better.
Don't do that. No.
No,
What
be
level
better.
of basketball do you officiate, sir?
I'm sorry?
What level of basketball do you officiate?
Not relevant.
It is. Yeah, very high. Stephanie, very high, correct?
You got it. You got it.
Yeah. So what we're saying is have fun in your youth, and you'll get better as you get older, and you learn from the mistakes. But darn it, it's fun to have a good story. So with that, I do say thank you to everyone for joining us. I appreciate these 4 wonderful people for being a part of the conversation. And I must say one more time, thank you, Nicole, for all your patience and guidance and wisdom with me during my 3 years with the Champ Series. I really appreciate it. Stephanie, I appreciate you for the 2 years that I've had the opportunity to be with you, and the joys and the smiles that you bring, but also the passion and the seriousness. When there's things you want to see changed, you are the one that's going to make it happen. So I can't wait to see what happens next year. Nikki, thank you for your words of wisdom. Thank you for your being able to bring in the calm. Sometimes we're all having fun and not paying attention. Then you make a sneaky joke in there with a straight face, but then you also give us the information to help us make an informed decision. So I thank you, Nikki, for that. And Greg, I can't wait to hear your voice. We already know you have a great voice related to speaking up and speaking out about whatever it is that matters to you. And so I'm hoping that you all continue to be great. And I just look forward to seeing what happens next. So with that, I say thank you to you all. And we hope that Nicole hits end on the recording at a timely manner, which would be now. Thank you.